London, 1888, a city filled with life and death. A time of industrial revolution, rapid expansion, and economic inequality. While the upper class enjoyed luxury, the East End of London was drowning in poverty, crime, and suffering. In the heart of this darkness lay Whitechapel, a district filled with overcrowded slums, narrow alleyways, and a deep sense of despair. But then a new kind of horror struck Whitechapel. A killer emerged from the shadows, a killer who didn't just murder his victims, but butchered them in the most gruesome way imaginable. A killer whose identity has remained a mystery for more than 135 years. A killer the world knows today as Jack the Ripper. August 31st, 1888. The streets of Whitechapel were as dangerous as ever. It was past midnight, and the air was thick with fog. A woman named Marian Nichols, known to her friends as Polly, wandered the streets, looking for shelter. She had no idea that this night would be her last. At around 3:40 a.m., a carriage driver named Charles Cross stumbled upon something on Bucks Row. At first, he thought it was just a bundle of clothes. But, as he got closer, his heart stopped. It was a woman's body. Her throat had been slit from ear to ear. Her abdomen was ripped open, blood pooled around her lifeless form. The police arrived quickly, but there were no witnesses, no suspects, no clues. And so, the legend of Jack the Ripper began. Just 8 days later, the killer struck again. This time, the victim was Annie Chapman. Her murder was even more brutal than the first. She was found on September 8, 1888, in Hanbury Street. Her throat was deeply cut, and her abdomen was completely mutilated. But the most shocking detail, the killer had removed her uterus. This level of precision suggested that the murderer had medical knowledge. Could he be a doctor, a surgeon, a butcher? The police were baffled. Panic spread through the city like wildfire. Women were too terrified to walk the streets alone. And then, things got even worse. September 30th, 1888, a cold, foggy night, and for the first time, Jack the Ripper killed twice in one night. At 1 a.m., a woman's body was found in Dutfield's yard. Her name was Elizabeth Stride. Unlike the others, she had only a single cut on her throat. Some experts believe that the Ripper was interrupted before he could finish his gruesome work. Furious, he went hunting for another victim. Just 45 minutes later, the police discovered Catherine Eddowes murdered in Mitre Square. This time, the Ripper had time to work. Her face was mutilated beyond recognition, her kidney was missing, and on a nearby wall, a chilling message was scrawled in chalk. The Jews are the men that will not be blamed for nothing. What did it mean? Was it a clue, or a deliberate misdirection? The police ordered the writing to be erased before the press could see it. And just like that, a potential piece of evidence was lost forever. The city was in terror. And then came the most gruesome killing of all. On November 9, 1888, the Ripper chose his final known victim, Mary Jane Kelly. Unlike the other victims, who were killed in the streets, Mary Jane was murdered inside her own home. When police forced open her door, they were met with a nightmare. Her entire face was removed. Her organs were spread across the bed. Her heart was missing. It was a scene so horrifying that some officers refused to describe it in detail. And then the murders stopped. Jack the Ripper vanished into history. Over the years, dozens of theories have emerged about his identity. Some say he was a doctor. Others believe he was a member of the royal family. The most famous suspects include Montague Druitt, a school teacher and barrister who disappeared mysteriously, Dr. Francis Tumblety, a doctor with a hatred for women, Aaron Kosminski, a mentally ill Polish immigrant with violent tendencies. Some even believe that Jack the Ripper was a woman, a midwife, who could walk the streets covered in blood without suspicion. But despite endless investigations, the truth has never been found. Today, Jack the Ripper remains one of history's greatest mysteries. Books, movies, and TV shows continue to explore his crimes. Tourists visit Whitechapel, retracing his bloody footsteps. Detectives and historians still analyze the case, hoping to find the missing piece of the puzzle. But one question remains. Will we ever uncover the truth? Or will Jack the Ripper's name be whispered for eternity? A ghost in the fog, forever unknown, cause for dramatic effect. What do you think? Could the mystery ever be solved? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more historical mysteries. Outro music fades out.